Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy T for 365 Horror Vlogs. And what we are is we are a horror movie discovery channel. I'm just here to put as many good horror movies on your watch list. So whether you like demons, gore, slashers, we got you covered. So let's get right into it. Now we are going to get right into the video, but before we do, I've got to remind you guys to please like, subscribe, hit the bell, do all that good stuff. And now, let's get into some new movies. The first movie we're going to look at this episode is called Jagged Mind. It is a horror thriller.
It's gonna be perfect.
Billy is plagued by blackouts and strange visions that lead her to discover she's stuck in a series of time loops, possibly related to her mysterious new girlfriend. It is directed by Kelly Callie. So after watching the trailer for A Jagged Mind, this looks like a pretty interesting psychological thriller. I like how the characters almost seem to interact, and you see some fire in her eyes or maybe some glowing eyes or something, so I'm assuming that there's going to be a supernatural element to it. I always love these kind of thriller vibes where it's a stalker. Depending on how crazy she goes, it kind of really dictates how good the movie is. I don't see very many scares in this one, but we might get some good tension out of it. Put it on the watch list.
I keep seeing myself die over and over. You're safe. You're here with me.
Next, we're going to keep in the vibe of a horror thriller, and we are going to look at a movie called The Gates, releasing on VOD. A serial killer has been sentenced to death by electric chair in London in the 1890s. But in his final hours, he puts a curse on the prison he is in and all of those in it. It is directed by Stephen Hall. After watching the trailer for The Gates, this looks like a pretty decent period piece. It's almost about a serial killer, and you can tell it kind of goes into demonic realms where he maybe is coming back to life or resurrecting and haunting people. It looks like it's out of a really good setting. It looks like you get a lot of prison morgue and just a lot of grim, macabre scenes. It looks like a lot of the killings are going to be visceral and just like really bloody. I don't know why I get that impression, but I just do. Other than that, though, it does look a little bit cheesy. So this one might not go at the top of my watch list, but it's something to watch for sure.
Save us, Father. There's evil down here. What is it that's down there? What did you see? Evil.
Next up, we have another horror thriller, and this one's releasing on Netflix, and it is called Run, Rabbit, Run. Sarah Snook plays a fertility doctor who believes firmly in life and death. But after noticing the strange behavior of her young daughter, she must challenge her own values and confront a ghost from her past. It is directed by Dana Reed. Okay, after watching the trailer for Run, Rabbit, Run, this looks like a really good kind of almost demonic possession story. It looks like this woman's daughter is almost possessed by the spirit of her sister. From some of the dialogue the child has, there's parts where she says, "You don't like me, you made me hide." I'm already guessing that the main character did have something to do with the sister's disappearance. This movie looks pretty creepy. It looks like you get a creepy kid in it, and like I said, the possession, the kid's coming unglued, and I always like those kind of unglued movies if they're done well. Put this one on the watch list.
Can people come back?
Come back from where?
From where they go when they die?
Next, we're going to look at a movie that touts itself as a drama horror thriller, and I'm always interested in drama horrors. I always think Midsommar or Hereditary. Even though Hereditary was more horror, but I just always think drama horror makes me think a little bit more cerebral and slow burn. So we are going to look at the movie Unseen, releasing on VOD. A law student finds himself in a twisted web of murder and deceit, brought on by a dark force from his past. It is directed by Vincent Shade. After watching the trailer for The Unseen, it looks like a pretty good descent into madness. It looks like the main character gets a job and becomes unraveled, but I also like that it's got a very good paranormal element to it. You see parts where covers are getting like kind of ripped off them and shapes and things like that. Stuff that might actually be creepy. So I'm definitely interested in that. I'm also interested in some of the body horror that they might show in this movie. You see parts where he's kind of doing weird contortions with his hands. One part where his body's contorting and his eyes are rolling in the back of his head. And that part, even though just a minor second in the trailer, did creep me out. So this is definitely one for the watch list.
I've been having these nightmares.
Tommy! Oh!
They feel so real. And I'm seeing things.
Next, we are going to check out a straight horror called Unwelcome, releasing on Shudder.
We just came here for some peace.
Married couple Maya and Jamie escape their urban nightmare to the tranquility of rural Ireland, only to discover malevolent and murderous goblins lurking in the gnarled ancient wood at the foot of their new garden. It is directed by John Wright. All right, after watching the trailer for Unwelcome, it looks like a welcome. Oh, sorry, I'm a loser. But it does look like a good addition to kind of the creature genre of horror. I like movies like Leprechaun, where it's just a mystical creature in general, especially when you're just expecting that from the very beginning. It looks like it's got some creepiness, especially with the creature. There's a point where he's reaching up for the door or reaching through the mailbox, and the hand does look unnerving to a degree. So I am interested in this one. Again, I just like a classic creature horror, and I'm going to put this one on the watch list.
Hello?
Next, we're going to look at a comedy, horror, sci-fi, and if there's one thing I'm skeptical about, it's definitely comedy horror. So I'm always interested to see how they're going to handle the material, if it's going to be something a little more serious. I've seen some good ones nowadays. They don't really get as zany as back in the day, so I'm kind of interested in this one. The movie is called Give Me an A, and it's releasing on VOD digital. Expands the importance of bodily autonomy and addresses the issues of a democracy that does not protect the needs of the majority of the population. It is directed by Hannah Aline, Avatar Ash, and Bonnie DeCipolo. After watching the trailer for Give Me an A, this definitely looks like a movie of something that I've never seen before. This is definitely going to be 100% a political message, so you might just want to prepare for that if you are going to bother watching this movie. It looks like it focuses around the decision of Roe versus Wade, so bodily autonomy and abortion and stuff like that. It features 17 female filmmakers, and each one of the stories is obviously going to be short, or else the movie would be like a day long. But sometimes you do get weird stories in some of these shorts, things that really make you think, or things that give you lots to talk about, and this movie definitely looks like it kind of might have that in spades. I'm interested to see how many of the stories actually encompass a horror element. I see how it's got comedy, like in one of the scenes you see one of the women, and before she sleeps with the guy, she has her lawyer on the phone, like, you know, kind of going through the legal steps that she can abort the pregnancy should nothing happen. I don't mean, it's just going to have a heavy political subtext, so I don't know if that enrages you or doesn't. I guess it depends on what side of that issue you're on, but either way, this one could be interesting. It could have some interesting little stories in it. Definitely going to be narrative driven. So again, if that kind of thing triggers you, you might not want to put this one on. But for me, I'm going to put it on the watch list.
Would you mind just having a little chat with my attorney?
Being as the federal law currently bans all abortion, do you agree that in the event that there was an unwanted pregnancy, that Sienna would have no legal or financial obligation?
Well, guys, that's going to do it for another one of these new release videos. I hope that you were able to find a couple movies to get on your watch list, some definite new watches. I know there's some people out there like me that have watched everything, so it's always welcome to have a couple of new movies. If I had to pick one or two of these movies, I don't know, Unwelcome, Unseen looks good. You know me, I'm more of a paranormal guy with the creepy stuff. I do like to be creeped out, so those would kind of be my loose picks, I guess. Why don't you guys tell me in the comments what movies you added to your watch list, or what movies you were looking forward to. And that's going to do it. Again, I hope you found some value in some new movies, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.